Hello, Roadrunner fans, and welcome to another episode of the 13 Questions Podcast. My name is JJ Perez from Inside Runner Sports. I am excited for this week as we all know it's game week for the Roadrunners as UTSA finally opens the 2022 season this Saturday afternoon at the Alamo Dome against the Houston Cougars. This week, we are lucky enough to have two special guests on the podcast. The last podcast was co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Will Stein. Be sure to check out all the podcast feeds for that conversation. Today, we're talking with defensive coordinator Jess Loepp. Coach Loepp was promoted from co-defensive coordinator last year to the full-time role in this offseason after defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator Rod Wright left to take a job in Miami. Coach Loepp has been pretty instrumental in the overall success of the defense the last few seasons. His area of emphasis is the safeties position, but he has been responsible for play calling the defense the last season, and he'll continue that role this season. There was some question marks about UTSA's kind of depth on defense in headed out of last season and into this season. And I think the Roadrunners answered some of that by hitting the transfer portal pretty hard in a couple of different places. So we'll talk about the ceiling of UTSA's defense overall, how good they could be. And we'll get to know Coach Loepp a little bit more on a personal level. I don't think a lot of people know about Coach Loepp's story and journey to UTSA. So, I appreciate Coach Loepp taking the time out of their very busy schedule to squeeze in a conversation. We also will have a Q&A written with both OC Will Stein and DC Jess Loepp on the website later this week to preview the season. So without further ado, here is defensive coordinator Jess Loepp on the 13 Questions Podcast. All right, this is my 13 Questions Podcast with defensive coordinator Jess Loepp. Jess, this is a new podcast I'm starting where I'm asking everybody inside of UTSA 13 questions, but it's the same 13 questions. So we get different answers and kind of learn a little bit more about the person. So question number 1, what is your policy on naps?
Naps.
Yeah.
Would love to take them. Don't feel like I have time to take them. But boy, I tell you what, when I do fall asleep on a Sunday, maybe out of the season, it does feel good. About a 15, 20-minute nap.
15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, no long. It can't be longer than 30. If it's longer than 30, I will not sleep.
Diminishing returns, right?
It will be a bad
I don't know how some of these guys do 2 hours or something. Just go to sleep, right?
Can't do it.
Speaking of sleeping, go ahead. Yeah. Speaking of sleeping, how often do you have dreams about football?
Oh.
And what was your last dream?
Okay. I wouldn't say a ton. Easily, I'd probably say once every other week.
Okay.
But during the season, it'll be a lot more.
Yeah.
Because my last one was probably just 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
So when the season comes, it's on my mind.
Is it specific situations or just stuff in
mostly
general?
About games.
Yeah.
Mostly about games. Sometimes it'll be about with the staff, just watching video and going through something. But nothing. I mean, it's variety. That's probably what's on my mind the most that day.
Yeah. Question number 3: which person inside of UTSA football have you known the longest, and how did you meet that person?
Nick Graham.
Yeah.
Nick Graham. When I was a GA at Tulsa in 2003, Nick, we just recruited him, and he was a freshman, and so I've known him for a whole long time, and he is very close to me, like a brother. Love him like a brother. We're very close, and it's been neat to see how much he's grown from a young, college student to a man, and his family and his wife, and then also to see how much he's grown as a coach, a terrific coach. Every year, I'm biting my nails because I'm worried somebody's going to come take him, and luckily we have been able to fend off about 6 different people, 3 each year. So hopefully we can keep doing that.
That's a long time to have that sort of relationship, right?
It is, and
especially in coaching, right?
Yeah, I wasn't directly coaching him when I was there. He was a corner. I helped with the safeties with Coach Graham, who was the defensive coordinator then. But we just kind of knew each other. I'd help him with different things. As a player, I'd give scouting reports and things like that. But then when I got into coaching, And when he was done with his professional career, I always thought he would have been a great coach. And, it kind of worked out where he was done playing and he had to finish up school at Tulsa. And I said, why don't you come over here?
Yeah.
Just come hang out with us and just kind of see if you kind of feel like coaching something you want to do. And he kind of took off from there.
That's awesome. That's a good answer. Question number 4. I don't know if you're big on social media, but if you could pick one form of social media and drop the rest, which one would it be?
Easily. Yeah? Twitter, because you don't have to put so much, and it happens so fast, because it feels like Instagram, Facebook, I got off of Facebook. Just it feels like you got to put so much. You got to write stories and post pictures. And man, I am simple. Recruiting, I use it for recruiting. I can message kids and do that because my wife is the post picture person and tell what's going on in her lives. So I let her do that stuff.
Are you a big? What's your favorite music? Are you a big rap guy?
I listen to it all. I probably am more of a podcast guy. I like listening to messages, books. That's probably what I listen to more. If I had to narrow down something, it's going to be some form of Christian music, but I listen to all of it. It really, I mean, like today, there was some country music.
Yeah.
Dadgum, what was it, the Chattahoochee or whatever?
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, I knew that from when I was young, and I sang the whole dang thing. So it doesn't matter what kind of music it is. I
got you. Question number 6. This is something I struggle with, so feel free to sidestep this one if you can. What's the best way to get out of a conversation with someone who won't stop talking to you?
I gotta go. That's about all I can think of. Hey, man, I'm busy. Gotta go.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I haven't been in too many. We try to do the best we can here to open everything up to people and visit with them. But sometimes, I mean, I am probably what I do a poor job with communication is whenever things are on my mind and I feel like I got to do stuff, I'm not a great listener. My wife will tell you that.
Mind is wandering elsewhere.
And when my mind is wandering, I'm like, look, I'm better off telling this person maybe another time. I'm busy because I'm not giving them what they deserve, and that's my ears. So, but probably I got to go. Sorry, I'm busy.
I got a football question for you. Question number 7. How good can this defense be this year?
I think it can be pretty special.
Yeah.
I really do, JJ. We're talented. We got a lot of depth, but you just truly never know until that first game.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. We're excited about it, and we got great leadership, great team speed, great length, great experience. It's just we'll see how it all comes together.
You a basketball fan? I see.
Oh shoot, I love a little basketball.
Yeah. Who's your NBA GOAT? Jordan, Kobe,
or Jordan?
Or LeBron?
Don't even. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jordan. Now I like little things about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
My era when I grew up, it was all about the mentality.
Yeah.
It was all about the edge. It was all about the will to win. And to me, nobody did it better than Jordan. And behind him, to me, was Kobe as far as that.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about skills?
Yeah.
I don't see how you can't pass up LeBron James at 6'8", 260 pounds, and him do everything. Him do everything that he can do. Skill-wise, there's none been better. But I'm about the mentality, the edge, the will to win, and to me, Michael Jordan was the best.
That's a great answer. Question number 9. I've gotten a lot of different responses to this, and I'm curious about it. Thinking about your career, your coaching career. A genie appears and offers you the opportunity to go back to the beginning of your coaching career. You get to retain all the knowledge you have to this point in your life. Would you go back and start all over?
No. If I was younger, probably yes. But now I think as I've gotten older, every experience I've had, every stop I've had, even the 2 high school stops, even when I was an analyst, they've all helped mold me into the coach and man I am today. And I know I wouldn't be the coach I am today without all that.
Right.
And so it's hard to say that, but sure, if I knew then what I know now, man, I'd be a lot better. I mean, man, I'd be smarter, and I know I could have probably climbed the ladder faster, but I can't complain where I'm at. I've been so fortunate and blessed, and to work with a man like Coach Traylor, it's a dream come true for me.
Question number 10, I want you to think about celebrities. It could be movie stars, it could be other, famous coaches, but Coach Traylor, yourself, and Ryan Philo have to miss a game week and a game. you get to decide who the replacements are, but they
shoot.
have to be a celebrity so the
Okay.
school can market it. So give me 3 celebrities for head coach, DC, and
shoot.
strength.
But it has to be, when you say celebrity though, it can be in the
Anyone
coaching.
yeah.
I don't want to deal with coaches because that's too easy.
Yeah.
I want to have fun with this one. Coach Traylor. I'm trying to think. I know he's crazy now. God, he's crazy now. But man, when I was growing up and young, Mel Gibson, Braveheart,
Yeah.
and Patriot, he had so many good movies where he just led the troops and was so motivational. So can I say a younger Mel Gibson?
A young Mel Gibson head coach.
That sounds good. Philo. Probably the old Mel Gibson because he's crazy and nuts. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. But Ryan Philo, golly, and I love movies, man. I love movies. Who is intimidating? Probably maybe a young Jean-Claude Van Damme, that intimidator.
Yeah.
And then for me, because he's my favorite, I'm a big Matt Damon guy.
Okay.
Love the movie Rounders. Love the Bourne. I love Matt Damon, so I'm just going to go Matt Damon because I think Matt Damon's a good dude.
Yeah, those are 3 great answers. Question number 11. What was the last new habit or lifestyle change you've made that you're particularly proud of?
Oof. Shoot. Dang, JJ. That's a tough one.
It doesn't have to be recent. It could be, several years ago.
I think that's tough. Because I tell you what, just like I said earlier, when I'm not sometimes been a very good listener, that is something that my wife has tried to help me with, and I've tried to work on, and just be a better listener to people.
Yeah.
To sit and have the patience and take the time to listen and not work or not text or not be doing something different while that person is giving me their time.
Yeah.
And so that's probably something, and that's still something
it's
I'm
hard
working
because
at. It's very hard,
so much stuff going
but
on.
I do think it's important.
Yeah.
Because I know when I talk to somebody and they're doing something different, I'm kind of like, come on, man, listen to me. Then I'm like, oh, shoot, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm still working on.
Yep. Question number 12 of 13. When you think about UTSA football 5 years from now, what are you most optimistic about, and what worries you the most?
I'm very optimistic about literally becoming a team that's a national brand, a national team. I don't think it's out of the realm for us to be a national top 25 team every year. I really don't. Scared of? I guess I'm probably scared of complacency.
Yeah.
Because it can happen. I've been a part of a program where it happened, and I'm scared of that. I am scared of guys relaxing. I'm scared of coaches, myself, players relaxing and thinking it's easy because it's not. Now, number one, it takes great players. Well, guess what? You got to recruit your tail off to get great players, and so we can't relax at any moment. And I'm also scared of losing a lot of great coaches and a lot of friends. Because it's been special here. I've never been a part of anything like it where offensively and defensively, there literally is no difference. We all truly get along. Like any one of us on defense could go hang out a full day with anybody on offense and nobody blink an eye. And I've never been a part of something like that. There's always been some sort of issue with somebody on some staff. And so that is something that I'm scared of as well as losing coaches.
Question number 13, last question for this podcast. Tell me about your journey here to UTSA. How did you get here? And I guess, did you almost not get here?
Well, sure. Yeah. My journey started when I was a GA. I volunteered actually at the University of Tulsa for Todd Graham. And luckily, he felt after 3 months I'd worked my tail off that he was going to make me the GA. I kind of volunteered in the summer, so I became the GA there, and then kind of followed Todd around for about 8 years, to Rice and back to Tulsa. And then I stayed at Tulsa with Bill Blankenship, and then after that was at SMU with Chad Morris. And then after that, in between there, I was at a high school for 1 year at Lake Travis High School, which was an unbelievable experience when Coach Morris was the head coach and Hank Carter, who was an unbelievable coach. Both of them. And then I was at Prosper after SMU working with Brandon Schmidt and Bill Robertson, who unbelievably, again, just good men and helped me grow and helped me stay confident in who I was as a coach. And then, I took a chance, and really it was my wife. Arkansas coaches, some of the offensive coaches, led by Coach Traylor, said, "Man, you need to get up here with us." I wasn't able to go. None of the defensive coaches went whenever they went to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. But they said, "Look, man, just come for a year. Something's going to happen for you. You need to get back in it. And you just come work for us on offense." And so I went to be an offensive analyst, and it was a great experience. I was able to, kind of just learn some stuff from the other side of the ball. And I felt that I could kind of give my input. And then, luckily, for us, because we were losing our jobs, Jeff was able to interview here for a head coaching job. And, without a shadow of a doubt, he was going to bring me, and which I just appreciated that. And that's how I got here. But, if I didn't go to Arkansas, I don't know if I'd be here right now. It's kind of crazy. But
it's a leap of faith there, right?
It is. I said, my wife, because my family stayed at home. Yeah. They stayed in McKinney, where we lived there when we worked at SMU, and then I worked at Prosper. And I went to Arkansas by myself. Coach Morris was very gracious and let me live with him, and it just worked out. I've been blessed, been fortunate, been lucky. However you people want to say it or interpret it. Yeah. I say blessed, but very, very fortunate.
That's a great story. I think everybody will enjoy that. Well, that'll wrap it up on the 13 Questions podcast. Defensive coordinator Jess Loepp. Appreciate the time, Jess.
Thank you, JJ.
13 Questions podcast with defensive coordinator Jess Loepp. Again, thanks to Coach Loepp for carving some time out of his busy schedule. We had a time set up, and he made it happen despite having a bunch of work to do on a kind of an off day from media responsibilities. So we don't get to talk to the coordinators very often. So I appreciate Coach Loepp and UTSA for setting that up and taking the time. And we even have a little bit in-depth, more Q&A on some football stuff on the website later this week to kind of preview the Houston game and the series. Again, thanks to Coach Loepp for taking the time. Some pretty interesting, an interesting story about Coach Loepp's journey to UTSA, and how he went from college to high school and back to college. And a lot of people, once you go back and forth like that, you don't kind of get to the position where Coach Loepp is at. And I think he hit it right on the head where he said something like they got something special working at UTSA, and they've been able to keep the staff intact for a lot of the time there, and that's pretty rare at UTSA. So in college football. So again, appreciate Coach Loepp for taking the time. Also appreciate everybody for listening to this podcast. It's been a lot of positive reviews. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are getting to know a little bit more about the people inside of UTSA, and we'll keep it going. See where we get next week. And I think, we'll enjoy the conversations as they keep going. JJ Perez for Inside Runner Sports, 13 Questions podcast. Thanks for listening.